Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Love Letter in My 20s. My name is Ariana, and I'm actually so excited for this episode today. So, here's a little backstory. It is currently Monday, and all my episodes come out on Tuesdays. And usually, I'm like a film on a Wednesday type person, or literally film on the day that an old one came out. You know what I mean? Like, with this podcast, like, I was very, ahead of my shit. And I always had an idea for an episode and all this stuff. And so this week I was kind of getting in my head because I was coming up with topics, and then I was thinking people just aren't going to like this. Am I just boring? My one episode did really well. The one where I was like, are you living for yourself or whatever? And so the next one after that, it didn't perform as well as that one. And so it just got me in my head because I was it's shit now. No one wants to listen to this. It's so boring. And then I was pushing it back. I kept pushing it back because I was I don't want to be boring, and I don't want people to not be interested in what I have to say. And then I got the great idea because recently I realized that I've just been in a mental slump. I recently have no motivation, no creativity. I'm very in my head these past couple days, honestly, because like I said, my it feels like it's been a month, but it's probably been a week of feeling this way. And like I said in my first episode, I get into these phases where I just feel so stuck. The only way I can explain it is a mental slump. And so I was doing these things that I always do to get myself out of these. And then I was thinking, why don't I just do an episode where I tell you guys how to get out of these mental slumps? Because I feel like I've mastered it to a point because I get into these slumps so often that I mastered how to quickly get out of it and get yourself back. So I want to treat this episode as almost like a guide, like a step by step. I wrote everything down step by step, what I do to help get myself out of a mental slump. So this could be you feel like you have no creativity, you have no motivation to do anything. You don't really want to talk to anyone. You feel like you're kind of behind in life and all that stuff, because I was stressing myself out because I was like, should I just get a real job? My business is whatever, not performing as well as I want it to, all this stuff. And then I was like, you just need to calm down and you need to do your guide and you need to get yourself back together. So this is really how I get my life back together, a step-by-step guide to getting out of a mental slump and getting your life back together. I'm really excited for this one, and I hope that this helps you. So this is not to be confused with depression or something like a serious mental illness, because I would probably recommend seeing a therapist for that stuff. I don't know if this would 100% work for you, but it could help you get in the right step and get into the right direction. You know what I mean? Because I can't cure something very serious, but I'm talking about those little phases in your life where you're just really stressed out and you feel nothing's working and you feel so behind in life and you have no motivation to do anything and you feel you're just becoming a little lazy. That is what this episode is for. And I want you to come back every single time you feel this way and follow these steps, because this is what I've been doing, and I just I didn't have it down written on paper step by step, but this is what I do every single time that I feel I'm kind of just losing myself. But yeah, I don't want to get it mixed up for if you maybe need medication or something. This isn't gonna cure everything, but this is a great episode to listen to. I feel if you are trying to get into the direction of just getting yourself back, and that's simply it. But yeah, let's begin. So step 1 is to declutter your room, declutter your car, clean your workspace, What I like to do is I like to set aside a space for working, set aside a space for sleeping and like resting and doing like self-care, and then also just like my car to go places. So set aside different areas in your room or whatever. If you have like a job, then set that aside, clean your office and decorate your space. Like just make your room and your car and your workspace somewhere that is like organized and that is also like just decluttered. And you can even decorate it. That's like a fun thing that I like to do because you are a reflection of your environment. So that's why I noticed like when I moved into my apartment, I was like at my highest peak and at my best because it was like a whole new, like brand new feeling and place. And then when I moved back to my grandparents' house, is where I'm at now, it was again like I felt that feeling again because after a year of living at the apartment, I had like a new, fresh space. And so I've been here for like, it's probably been over a year now. And when you're like at a place for a while, you start to get used to it and like nothing is like new. You know what I mean? It's easy to fall back into these like mental slumps. So what I like to do, sometimes I literally just like go in and redecorate, or I'll buy new pillows, or like I'll add something new, or like I'll redesign my walls and stuff and like add different decorations. I'll reorganize like where everything goes because again, you are a reflection of your environment and like where you stay. So if your room is a mess, you're going to feel very stressed out. You're going to feel like a mess. But if your room is organized, you're going to feel very well put together. And if your closet's organized, it's going to be easy to like pick out your clothes. This is like common sense, but it really does help because I get into these slumps where like my room is just messy and I have like no motivation to clean it and my closet is a mess. And also your workspace, it's important to make sure that your workspace is like organized, like wherever you do work. This could be your office. Mine is my desk because I like do everything from home, and I also have like a little studio, so that place I make sure is like very organized and just like clean because especially when you're working, the environment should be like very well put together because then you work better. And then my car, I'm like a little worse with that, but I just went in today and I literally like vacuumed it and I took it through the car wash, got some gas. Like it just makes you feel better. That is step one, is just declutter, get everything nice and organized so that you can start and move on to step two, which is mindset. To be able to do any of the next steps, you need to switch your mindset. And so usually when you're in a slump and usually when you're, in these phases, your mindset is probably off. And for me, speaking personally, I always get into these phases when I compare myself. So this happens a lot when I'm on TikTok. Like I'll scroll through TikTok for like hours. The amount of hours that I could spend on TikTok is insane. And I'll just see like people living like these best lives. I'll see like boutique owners and business owners who are like doing amazing, like making like six figures in sales, like all this stuff. And then I'll just keep comparing myself and being like, oh, like I'll never be like them. Like I'm not at the right spot and I'm not like at the right place. But we need to get out of this like comparison thing. This could also be like you see someone like they have their life well put together and they have like a really good job and all this stuff. And especially like out of college and when you're 22 or like in your early 20s, you could see this and you could be like, I'm so far behind. Like I am not where I'm supposed to be right now. Like everyone else my age is like doing well. We need to stop that. We need to stop looking at what everyone else is doing and reassess for ourselves. Because for me, I was spending more time comparing myself to these people than actually doing something about myself and like my career and all this stuff. Stop comparing and start living in the present. This is so important because we can get so caught up, and this happens all the time. Like this happens like so subconsciously that sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. But living in the present moment is so important. It's in like every single self-help book you will read. There's one that's called what is it called? The Power of Now. I think it's called The Power of Now. It's somewhere over there. but it's like a whole book that teaches you to stop worrying about the future, stop worrying about the past, and literally just live in the now. Because for me, like, my biggest regret was not taking Project U seriously when I first started it. Because, like, your first year of business is supposed to be your best year of business. And it really was. Like, my TikToks were doing so well. My Instagram posts, like, everything was, like, doing well. Like, things were selling out, like, all this stuff. And I didn't take it seriously. And I just, like, didn't post consistently, and I like wasn't really marketing it well, and I kind of just like was like, oh well, I have school so I can't. And that's a big regret of mine, but it's the past. So like, yeah, I regret it, but also instead of like dwelling on the fact that like it could have been like amazing right now and it could have been like a huge brand, I instead am focusing on what can I do right now in this moment to try and get there. Because maybe I messed up in the past, but I could fix it right now. And it's the same thing with the future. Is like instead of thinking, okay, well one day I'm gonna, make this brand huge. You have to think, what am I doing right now to make it big? And I think we always get like so caught up, and that's why a lot of these like mental slumps happen, is because we're so busy worrying about our mistakes that we made in the past and like where we're going in the future. But we need to just stop and think like we're living right now. We're grateful for this. This is like the science behind gratitude, is because it gets you to like sit there and think like what in my life right now am I like super grateful for? And it gets you like back into the present moment. Because it's not like, what are you thankful for, like for the future, and what are you thankful for in the past? It's literally like you sit down and you think, I'm so grateful for, being able to wake up today. And I'm so grateful for what just happened like 2 seconds ago. Like that was just awesome. You know what I mean? Living in the present moment is super important, especially because when you do, it'll be so much easier to do like the next couple steps that I'm about to say. So, yeah, that is step number 2. Switch the mindset and really like get yourself into the zone. Like you're doing fine. If you're watching this, you already took the right step. Get out of the mindset of like you're not doing well and like you're not at the right step. Because if you're watching this episode to help yourself, then you're in the right direction. Like you're doing something to help yourself. And it's the same thing like if you, try to find a therapist, or if you do something that like puts yourself in the right direction, then you're doing something about it. You know what I mean? Like it's good. This is good. You're like headed in the right direction. So there's no need to stress. There's no need to worry. Get all those thoughts out of your head. And then we'll move on to step number 3. So this is setting a morning and a nighttime routine. So we're not going to worry about the in between. We're just going to worry about morning and night. Set like a specific time you're going to wake up and stick by this. Like this is where self-discipline really comes in. And self-discipline is like all throughout these steps. Like you have to just like do it. Like you can't just say it, you just have to do it. Like trust me, try this out for a week. Don't even think like, oh, this is going to be like for the whole entire month. Like just try it out for 7 days. That's it. And you don't even have to do all 7 days. I'm going to talk about it cuz we're probably going to do like 4 out of the 7 days. Try this out. You're going to set aside a morning and nighttime routine. So for the morning, you're going to set a specific time that you're going to get up, and you're going to pair something with getting up. But have it be like some sort of self-care into your morning and nighttime routine. Something that is like associated with self-care that makes you feel good. So that could either be you go right into your bathroom and you do your skincare routine, or you pick up your journal and you start journaling, like gratitude or something, or you wake up and you go to a workout class. Pair your like waking up with something, because that's going to motivate you to wake up, and that's going to start like a routine, like a habit loop in your mind, because that's how you like build habits, is setting aside a time, and then this is like what you have to do every single time you wake up, if that makes sense. There's another book, it's called it's something about habits. All my books are over there and it's like guarded so I can't see, But basically, it's this book about like how to set habits, and you just need to train your mind to do it at a specific time every single day. And that's why morning and nighttime routines work so well, is because you can implement it like very easily. So you're going to set aside a time that you're definitely going to wake up, and you're going to do whatever you pair it with. And then for nighttime, you're going to set along with before you go to bed. So that could be journaling, that could be reading a book. It could be simple, like a skincare routine, like something that doesn't like take up too much time. Just add it into your morning and your night. And don't worry about the middle, because if you start like really putting a routine every single day, like things happen and things come up. So when those things happen and come up and you can't do the routine throughout the whole entire day, you're going to feel like not good. You know what I mean? Like if it's easy, like right in the morning, like no one's really bothering you, and right at night, even if it's like a short term thing, because I know a lot of people have work. So if you have work in the morning, wake up like 10 minutes earlier and add in something quick, like writing in your journal or just like doing your skincare. Pair morning and night, because routine is what gets you back into the flow of things, and it's what helps you make habits, because then you can add in another thing after you do, the skincare. You can add in like the journaling or yada yada yada, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So just do like a little micro mini morning and nighttime routine that you're going to do for the whole entire week. Okay? This just for 1 week straight. And then eventually you're going to get into the habit, and you're going to want to keep doing it, that you don't even have to do it for all 7 days of the week. Like after this, like you can try and shoot for like 4 out of 7 days of the week, or just like take 1 day out of the week to literally just like sleep in and do all that stuff. But for the beginning of this process, we're going to set aside a specific time, and a specific time you're going to go to bed. And make sure you're getting sleep. It's so important to get sleep, guys. 7 to 8 hours, because when I was getting no sleep at all and like 4 hours of sleep and less than 4 hours of sleep, I feel like shit. It's a common thing. Like we all know this by now. So 7 to 8 hours, morning and nighttime routine. And then you're going to sit in your journal. So this is like the planning phase. So plan out your morning, plan out your night. And then you're going to sit. Doesn't even have to be in your journal. It could be like a piece of paper. You're going to think, who do I want to be? Like, what do I want to be? So I'll give you an example. I have a page for this, actually. So we're going to go through my pages, and I'll show you. Hold on. Sorry. It's so hard to find pages in here because I just like write so many random things. Okay. So I have a page. It's called Who Do I Want to Be? And then how to do it. So I want to be someone that's always put together. What do? They do their makeup. They take time to pick out their outfits. They add in jewelry every single day. They have a water bottle. Water bottles are awesome. I don't know why, like when I have like my Stanley cup, I just feel so well put together. They have a skincare routine. They do their nails. Someone who is a business owner would be like, I talked about this in my first episode. Someone who is a business owner, they would go in weekly and check all their finances. They would post consistently on social media. They would take brand photo shoots. They would buy inventory. And you're going to write down like what you want to be. A podcaster. They would be posting on social media. They would be coming up with topics. They'd be finding guests. Write down all like anything that you want to be. It doesn't even have to be like a career. It could be like, I don't want people to walk all over me. What does this type of person do every single day? You want to be someone who is very confident and like has a nice body. What do they do every single day? They work out. They do self-care. If you're confident, like what do you do? I don't know. But start writing down things that the person that you want to become would do. And then you're going to either get a planner or the Structured app. It's literally an app on the iPhone. It's called Structured. I am not sponsored by them, but if they sponsored me, I literally would I would walk the ground that they plant, because I love this app so much. Walk the ground that they plant. What does that mean? I don't know. But either get the app or get like a little journal or get like a little planner. And you're going to add in a task that this person would do every single day. Like you wrote it down already, and start taking like these little things that they do and making like little like tasks. So you don't have to set a time to do it, but try and do like one thing each day of this week. So say like for a business owner, check your finances on Monday, could be a task. Order inventory on Tuesday. Create a bunch of content on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like spread them out throughout the whole week and assign like a certain day that you're going to do this. And don't put it like for the whole entire week. Like if you just put like a huge to-do list to just get done like any of the days throughout this whole week, you're going to feel so stressed out. And that's why a lot of times like to-do lists don't really work for people, is because like they overwhelm themselves with too many tasks. But you're just going to add a little task into every single day of this week. And then you're going to start planning out your days. So what I like to do is if I like have something to do, I'll add it into the day. Like whatever you say yes to, and any plans that you make, and any, things that you have to do, add in the time, add it in the day, and you will feel so much better about yourself. Because I was someone who I would like say yes to everything. If someone asked me something in advance, I would just be like, yeah, like I'll come. Whatever. Like I could do that. And then like I wouldn't have any structure in my life, and I wouldn't like have anywhere that it was like written down, because the iPhone calendar is horrible. Once I got this app, if I knew I had like someone's, I don't know, graduation party on this day, I wrote it down right away. Like I wrote everything down. Or if I knew like I had to be at someone's like photo shoot on this day, I wrote it down. Or if I had to meet someone this day, like I write it down. And this will get you to do things and not feel like so stressed and so overwhelmed. And then you're going to add in some movement into your days. So this could be going for a run. This could be going to the gym. If you're someone like me, I have a really hard time self-disciplining myself when it comes to working out, that I need to do like yoga classes. The thing that I love about having like the option to do yoga classes is that you can't cancel. I mean, you can cancel, but if you cancel, they charge you a fee. And I'm broke. I'm a broke girl. So I cannot be paying that $5 fee. So it forces me to go. And so like in the beginning of my week, I'll literally sign up for a yoga class throughout the week that I know like I'm free and that I can go. So that way I like am forced to go. Like I used to decide like 30 minutes before if I wanted to sign up or not. Now I just try and like do it all in the beginning of the week. Like what days am I actually going to go, and set aside a time. And that's why like doing Pilates and like yoga classes work very well, is because you're setting aside a specific time that you have to do this. So if you're someone that you don't want to do like classes, then for your run, set aside a specific time. It doesn't even have to be all 7 days a week. It could be like I go to yoga like 4 out of 7 days a week. I don't even do like all 7, because that it's excessive and it's a lot. Like don't strain yourself during this process. So I would recommend setting aside like an hour for this movement session. So it doesn't even have to be like right in the morning. Right in the morning works for me just because like I feel so good for the rest of the day. So I would recommend like doing this in the morning, but you can set aside, I don't know, even like in the afternoon, you can set aside a certain time frame that you are going, like you have to do this. Like you have to go to the gym, and you have to like go for a walk for this hour, or you have to like do something that moves your body. It doesn't even have to be specific. Like it doesn't even have to be like go to the gym, do this, lift, whatever. It can literally just be, okay, from this time block to this time block, I'm going to do something that is moving my body, because exercise genuinely like does boost happiness, and it really has like such a strong effect, especially when you're going through a mental slump and when you feel like lazy and stuff. Like the hour after you work out, you're gonna feel great no matter what. Like you're gonna feel good. And so this is a crucial step, you guys. So 4 out of the 7 days of this week, you're going to add in an hour or even half an hour to just add in some sort of movement. And trust me, you will feel so much better. Trust me. Just trust me. Step number 6. Do something. It could be one day that gets you out of your comfort zone. Do one thing that gets you like your heart is racing, like you are nervous and you're like so out of your comfort zone. For example, I met with someone like completely random that like I never really talked to before, and that's something that I would like never do. And we met up and we had like a nice coffee, whatever, and I was like so nervous to do it. I met with people and did like a photo shoot. Like I just like said yes to something that I was like kind of nervous about because like I never had done it before, or I wasn't like used to it, or I'm someone that like when I meet people I get like really nervous and scared. But just try and do something and say yes to something that is going to get you to like almost shit your pants. Like one thing once a week that gets you to do this, and you're going to do it. And whether it goes well, whether it goes bad, you did it and you got through it, and it's going to make you feel so good. Trust me on this one. Just do it. Do it. Say yes. I know I said before, like, don't say yes to things you don't want to do. But I'm saying like say yes to something that will be good for you and like will help you like network with people and stuff like that. Like even if you like are scared to do it, then you say yes. Like if you actually like don't want to do it and it's like gonna make you unhappy, then don't. But I'm talking about the things that like will be good for you. It just like is out of your comfort zone. Do something like that. And if opportunities don't come to you to be able to say yes, then go out of your way. Like try and network with someone like older, or try and like be like, oh, do you want to go on a coffee chat with someone that you were like inspired by, or I don't even know, like something that gets you out of your comfort zone. Skydiving, I don't know, like something that gets your heart racing once a week. And trust me, like it's going to make you feel so good inside when it's over and when you like got through it. Like it's such a confidence boost. It's how you like learn about yourself. So do those, okay? And then step 7, this might be step 8. I don't know. This is the second to last step. Socialize. Don't cut everyone out of your life. I know that I'm saying like this is only for a week. So you're going to be doing all these things, but try and like take one day to socialize. Try and like catch up with a friend. It could be even like FaceTime. Hang out with a friend, FaceTime them, something where you're like talking to someone that you're like close with, or just like socializing with people, like having like a conversation, like good conversations, and like being around people for at least one day of this week. And then the final step is that you're going to look back on Sunday or whenever the week ended. So say you're watching this on Tuesday, you're going to start today and you're going to look back on next Tuesday. And you're going to sit with your piece of paper or your journal and you're going to reflect. So you're going to write down everything that you did that week that made you feel like you again. And so, like I said, I have my journal. So I'm going to give you guys examples of what I wrote when I was doing this. So, okay, I literally labeled it things that get me back. You know what I mean? Me, myself back. So I put planning and filling my days on structured, yoga in the mornings, working on my business, working on my acne, which is like skincare, reading, and journaling. You're going to think about everything that you did this week. What little self-care implements did you do? What types of movement did you do? How was your experience like hanging out with friends? What type of like comfort zone thing did you do? And you're going to write down everything that like made you feel good again, so that when you're in these slumps, you know exactly what you need to do, because you can look back on this page and be like, oh, well, yoga makes me feel good and I haven't been going to that recently. Let me add it in. It could be like, oh, I loved like doing my skincare routine during this time period, so let me just add it in again. A lot of like the mental slumps that I go through is that like I stop doing a habit and I stop like doing something that like makes me feel good, and like I kind of like become lazy and I just like don't really have a routine and a structure and all that stuff, and that's why like sometimes I feel in these mental slumps. But when you do this and you reflect on like everything that made you feel good, then you're going to get to know yourself so well that you know that when you get into these mental slumps, you know exactly what you need to do. You know what routine works for you, what gets you yourself back. You know what I mean? It's all very simple, but it's very easy to fall out of a routine when you're, scrolling on TikTok, or when you spend a whole day just like rotting in bed. Like, it's so easy to lose yourself very quickly. It happens all so quickly, and become unmotivated and become like whatever, whatever, whatever. But if you're taking steps and you're doing things like this, I like to say that this is a week process for me. Like, this is how like I get myself back in a week, because I'm someone that, like, if I fall behind, like, I need to fix myself right away. But if you're just even like doing something that gets you in the right direction, like I said before, and that like you're trying to get yourself back, that's better than doing absolutely nothing. And that's a step. So always pat yourself on the back for, being self-aware and like knowing when you're going through like a rut and all that stuff. And then I also have an optional thing, because I think like when a lot of people think, working on themselves and like getting into this mindset, a lot of people are like, no phones, no social media, no going out, no doing these things. What I like to do is I set aside like 30 minutes, less than an hour, definitely. Sometimes like I'm a little bit over 30 minutes. Set aside like 30 minutes to an hour to just take in like stupid consumption. So what I mean from that is like just like stupid things. Like, I love to watch Cancelled by Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield. I don't know if that's how you say her last name. It's a podcast by Tana Mojo that everyone, I'm sure, knows. And it's just like stupid things. Like, she's just like talking about her life. Like, it's funny. It's just like consumption that like isn't going to benefit me, but it's just fun consumption. Like, on Wednesdays, I love to watch the BFS podcast. And it's literally all just like social media drama and news and stuff. I love it. And I'll take a little bit of time out of my day to like enjoy that. Like, when it comes to self-discipline, and when it comes to, getting yourself back and reinventing yourself and working on yourself, you have to make sure that you're like, you still give yourself times to have fun. Because I feel like a lot of people get into the mindset of like, I'm working on myself, like I'm cutting communication with the world, like I am better than this. And it's not like that, because like we have all these like fun things to do to, just like be silly and like be, I don't know, just have like an interest in that. Like, I just love like TikTok drama. Like, I think it's so fun to like be invested, but not be invested for like so long. Even if you want to like just, I don't know, watch like a stupid show. Like, I like Love Island. Like, just like funny, lighthearted things. But the trap is when you spend like your whole day just consuming all this stuff. Like, if you set aside a little time slot in your day where you could just like do whatever and listen to whatever, then you're fine. Or same thing with going out. So many people are like, I'm working on myself. Like, I'm better than you guys because I'm not going out. Like, I'm staying inside, like all this stuff. And like, that does sometimes help. Like, sometimes alcohol, drinking alcohol, like, can make you feel like shit. And if that's what like works for you, that's fine. But I'm not saying like you need to, self-discipline yourself so much to the point where like you never like have fun. Like, if you want to go out because all your friends are going out, you could go. Like, it's fine. Like, as long as, like I said before, like 4 out of the 7 days after you do this week thing, after you, self-reflect and all that stuff, if you show up for yourself, show up for yourself every single day, but if you show up for yourself in the sense of like setting like a structured routine and like having a habit and like doing all your habits and stuff, at least like 4 to 5 days out of the 7, you're going to feel so much better about yourself. I like to do like Monday through Friday or like Monday through Thursday. Like, that's my like go grind time. But it doesn't feel like to the point where I'm just waiting for the weekend. It's like every single day is fun because like I'm doing things that I love to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, oh my God, like, I can't wait until Friday because that's when I don't have to go to yoga. No, yoga makes me feel good. So I'm doing it like every Monday through Thursday. It's just like sometimes, like, I can give myself a break. You know what I mean? Like, when you reflect on these things at the end, you're becoming aware of like things that make you feel good, that when you do them, it's not going to feel like you can't wait until, you know, this 4-day bender of like self-care is done. You know what I mean? Like, you'll probably love it so much where you're going to do it like every single day. But I'm just trying to say, like, don't feel so down on yourself if you found yourself, scrolling through TikTok for an hour, or just like, I don't know, watching a show for like an hour that was just like really stupid, or going out for like a night because you just wanted to have fun. Self discipline also comes with the fact that you can't beat yourself up for like doing fun things, because it's just life. Like, no life is fun when you're just like secluding yourself from everything, and when you're, working on yourself and not doing like fun things or doing things that like you love to do, if that makes sense. But yeah, that is my step by step guide on how to reinvent yourself and get yourself back and get out of these mental slumps. Because I currently have been in a mental slump, with my business, with my podcast, with my influencer account. I was very like mental slumpified. And I just am working on doing these things again and doing things that make me feel like myself again. And yeah, that's just life, and that's how it works. And I hope that this does help someone. And if you're feeling this way, you can talk to me about it. Also, I say this like all the time. My DMs are open. You could text me. But I really want you to try out this episode and try out this guide, this step by step guide, and see if it even works for you. And if anything, if like after the 7 days, you're like, I still feel like shit, whatever, at least you took like 7 days to like get to know yourself. And like, say you come to the end and you're reflecting and you found like nothing that you did that you like actually felt good about, then try it again. Try to add new things into your life that makes you feel good. But you're gonna find things like through self-care and like through like doing things for your career, and like also like the getting out of your comfort zone part. You're probably gonna find something that like makes you feel good. That's how you go through life in general, is just do a bunch of things, get out of your comfort zone, do self-care things, work on yourself, all this stuff, and then take moments to reflect and be like, what made me feel good? What do I like to do? And that's how, you figure out a structure that you really like. And that's just the secret to life, is just finding things that make you feel like you and then implementing them every single day. So, yeah, that is the episode. If you ever feel like you're going through a mental slump, just try this out and see how you feel, and come back and let me know at the end of your 7 days how you're feeling. Thank you for listening. If you want, you can follow the Instagram, which is ALLTMT.pod, and the TikTok is a love letter to my 20s. You can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And with that being said, I will see you guys next Tuesday at 8 a.m. I have a very fun episode planned for next Tuesday because I'm going on vacation with a group of friends, and I have a very fun episode next. So hopefully by then you'll get yourself back together and you'll be able to consume my fun episode on Tuesday. So yeah, I will see you guys then. Thank you guys again for listening. Bye.